Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. And in today's packed program, I'm going to be looking at a short Wisdom Bite story which has very profound effects and a story that we can all learn from. Certainly, it had a very big impact on my life many years ago when I first came across it. I'll also be discussing the very big announcement that's going to be taking place today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time about the interest rate rise by the Fed. And I'll also be looking at the various charts to ascertain exactly where we are and where the direction of travel for the Bitcoin price will be. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride today, so let's fasten our seatbelt, sit ourselves down, eyes on the screen, and let's get cracking. But as usual, before I begin, please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in the video should be taken as financial advice. Please do your due diligence. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just going to be reading the charts and the noise around it and giving you my perspective. So let's start off with the interest rate announcement that's expected at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7 p.m. UK time. The reason I want to discuss this is because you have to expect a lot of volatility in the Bitcoin price today, and that volatility will depend on what interest rate hike the Fed decides on. If we get a 1% increase, which is expected by about 20% of people, then that will have a massive fall across the sector, including Bitcoin. And I think the Fed will try to avoid that. The expected figure is actually 0.75%, i.e. 75 basis points, which should stabilize the markets, but it also depends on what Jerome Powell is going to say after the announcement. If he is still aggressive and hawkish in his intentions going forward for the interest rates, i.e. to keep increasing the interest rates by 0.75% or more, then the price will obviously fall. But if there is any softening in his speech, then we can expect a relief rally for the next few weeks and months. And that may well be a trigger for the next bull market. So look out for the big decision at 2 p.m. Eastern Time today. Okay, so on to the Wisdom Bite for today, which is actually a very short story called The Echo of Life. It has very deep meanings, and I think you'll be able to relate to it very quickly. A son and his father were walking on the mountains, and suddenly the son falls down and hurts himself. In the process, he gives out a screaming noise. To his surprise, the screaming noise repeats itself somewhere in the mountain. The son was very curious and he yells, "Who are you?" And he receives the answer, "Who are you?" Getting a little irritated at the response, he screams, "Coward." He receives the answer back, "Coward." He looks to his father and asks, Father, what's going on?" The father smiles and says, "My son, pay attention." And then the father screams to the mountain, "I admire you." And the voice answers back, "I admire you." Again, the father screams to the mountain, "You are a champion." And the voice answers back, "You are a champion." The boy is very surprised but does not understand. And then the father explains. He says, "Son, people call this echo, but really this is life. It gives you back everything you say or do. Our simple life is simply a reflection of our actions. So if you want more love in the world, then create more love in your heart. If you want more competence in your team, then improve your competence. This relationship applies to everything in all aspects of our life. Life will give you back everything you have given to it. And we should have no complaints. You see, your life is not a coincidence. It's really a reflection of who you really are. I hope you found value in that story. And if you did, then please do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. On to the charts. This is the chart I've been going through over the last two videos. The upper chart here is the 2018 12-month bear market that we had after the topping at 19,800. And I explained to you how that correlates with the current market where we topped out at 69,000 and we've been in this 12-month bear market here. So if you want an explanation of all this correlation, then please look at the last video, so I don't want to be repeating myself. But today I want to be taking a closer look at this section here and how this is correlating currently, because this is very important here. So as you can see, in 2018, once we broke the 50 simple moving average, which is the white line, and the green line obviously is the 200 simple moving average, over here as well. Once we broke that, we followed the similar pattern where we came down and consolidated, just like over here. But there was a final capitulation back in 2018 down to $3,100, and currently we had that at $17,500. So since then, the price made its way back to the 50 simple moving average over here. And this is currently what we did last couple of months. So while currently we went above the 50 moving average, In 2018, we only went up briefly, but came back down and got rejected at that point, which is exactly what we've done over here. Now, we've made a very similar attempt to get back above the 50 simple moving average, which is over here. But just like in 2018, we got rejected and we fell below the 50 simple moving average. And currently we've gone a little bit further than that, below the 50 simple moving average. So the question now is that we're waiting. So currently we're waiting, just like in 2018, we got up above the 50 simple moving average and made our way to the green line over here. And that was the trigger for the big rally that we had towards the 2019 when we went up to 14,000. So this is where we are currently. The green line, the 200 simple moving average, is around about the 29,000, but obviously it's a declining line. So by the time we do get up there, if we do, then that'll be around about 28,000, which coincides with this level here. That when we came back down, we found some support at these levels at 28,800. So far so good. But as we know, Bitcoin has a habit of surprising. So it may well be that the interest rate decision that we get today tanks the market and we go much, much further down, which is different to what happened over here. My own view is that a 0.75% increase rate is going to happen, and that may stabilize the market here. And depending on what Jerome Powell says after the announcement, I'm expecting a softening tone, which should give us a relief rally, which then would mean that we can carry on correlating with the above market here from 2018. So let's wait and see. Let me know your views below the video. Now, before we get bullish, there is a chart that is very alarming because we are about to do something that we have actually never ever done on the Bitcoin chart in its entire history. The chart that you see here with the two lines, the yellow is the 21 simple moving average on the weekly chart, and the green line is the 200 simple moving average. As you can see, in this bear market that we had back in 2015, the yellow line came very close to touch the green line here, but we never quite did it. Similarly, at the end of the 2018 bear market, we came very close, but we didn't quite do it. But look at where we are now. We simply cannot avoid the yellow line, the 21 simple moving average, crossing over the 200 moving average. What repercussions that will have, we don't know. Depends on how other people in the market will behave. Will they see this as a trigger to go much lower? Only time will tell, but certainly it is alarming to see that. If you look closely at these 2 points here, so this is 2015 when we came down and nearly crossed the green line, but then we started a rally to the upside and that turned the yellow line back up again, and this again over here. And that was the start of the bull market then. And in 2018, similar thing happened. As the yellow line came towards the green line, we had a rally from there. And that again turned the yellow line back up again. This is the current situation. The yellow line here, as you can see, hasn't quite hit the green line yet. So what we need is a very quick move to the upside, but it looks very imminent that this is going to happen next week. So unless we have a big increase of about 2,000 or 3,000 in the next few days, this cross is going to take place next week. We may not like what's happening here, but we have to respect the price action and what it's telling us. I'm also going to show you something for those with a discerning eye may have noticed already. On the daily chart, something ominous is actually developing here, and that is a head and shoulders pattern. You've got the left shoulder over here, we've got the head, and now we've got the right shoulder forming. And exactly where we are now would be a break. And if the interest rate decision goes against the market's movements, i.e. we get an aggressive stance and it spooks the market, this could actually be the trigger to break this head and shoulders pattern. And these patterns do play out around about between 70 to 75% of the time. And if you want to have a measured move of where it could go down to, if you take the top of the head down here, it would represent around about a 25% fall. And a 25% fall from where we are would take it all the way down to around about $14,000. And that would make sense because when we zoom out, we can see that the market in June 2019 came exactly to $13,800 1,800 here. And that may be a final capitulation for Bitcoin. Although having said that, most people are expecting this price action to go down to these levels here, which is around about 10,500 to 11,500, because there was a lot of resistance at those levels here, as you can see. Very, very strong demand and supply over here, and obviously over here. And if you take it all the way back, it would take it to these levels here. So very strong resistance and support around these levels here. So these are the two real support levels on the way down if we do get down. Like I said, if the interest rate hike is going to be not as bad as expected, then we could actually go the other way, to the upside. So only time will tell, but keep your eye on this. It's very important. Okay, so we'll leave it there for today. I hope you found value in that, and if you did, then please do remember to like and subscribe and to turn on the notification bell. And if you have any comments, questions or suggestions, then leave them in the comments below. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.